Hey, booze, hey. Do your blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well, sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. We are, oh my gosh, this is our last episode of the season. Let me do my little intro. Let me get my life right. Okay. Hey, booze, hey, welcome to the season finale, season 12 of the Wake Up Happy Sis show. We're going broadcasting live on KCCR Cityscape Radio, where we're changing the narrative for our people because we are always telling our stories our way. I'm your host, Leanne Dose, your Chief Self-Love Officer over here at Wake Up Happy Sis, with my fabulous co-host, Sharonda Seeley, aka Lady of Leisure. So that's just her nickname, and we go with that. And today's episode is the permission slip that you didn't know that you even needed, but we're going to give it to you because that's what we do. We're talking about, sis, it's time to choose you. Summer is calling. And it's your invitation to stop surviving. And why is my camera over there the other direction? I don't know what's going on. We're going to figure that out. See, this is the problem with TikTok. I really don't know how to use this app. There we go. There we go. Okay, now y'all can see me over there. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Let me get back to what I was saying. This isn't about weight loss, okay? It's not about vacation plans. And it's not about posting up fake joy for the gram or the talk. This one is about realignment. Okay, let me put my glasses on because when I get serious, I got to put the glasses on, y'all. Okay, it's about realignment. It's about choosing rest. It's about choosing peace. It's about your ability to choose joy without guilt. So whether you're healing, glowing, quitting jobs, blocking numbers, or just learning how to rest for the first time in years, this episode is for you, okay? So you're going to grab your glass of whatever because we don't judge what's in your mug. I'm drinking water today. Shameless plug for my friend's brand, Keen Water, alkaline water, Black-owned company. He's got his own, like, lake or something, his own spring on his land. So,
oh, wow.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to go down and see it. Next time you come, we should go down and check it out. So, this episode, we're really talking about how do you choose you? How do you finally choose you? So whether you're a mother who is an empty nester now, and you're figuring out what life looks like now without kids in the house, that's a hard one, right? If you are that overgiver, that foundation, the one that helps everybody else, the one that looks out for everybody else. And I'm sorry if you can hear my dog who has found himself. I gave him this water bottle to play with because that's what he likes. Can you hear it? He is right under my chair, chasing and biting on this. But he always got to do it right wherever I'm at is where he feels he has to be with all his toys, his snacks, his everything. I need him to get his life right with Jesus. Okay. But we're talking about how do you shift your mindset, right? From survival to softness, because we're moving into our soft girl era come hell or high water. Yes, we are.
As you should.
I want y'all to realize why doing the most is really not your birthright. It's not something that we're supposed to feel is the level that we're always supposed to work at. Good morning, Eileen.
Hey, Eileen.
Yes, you definitely could. And we missed you. And good morning, Melody.
Good morning.
I grew up with a Melody Turner. Melody, are you from Seattle? I grew up with a Melody Turner. That would be so interesting if that is you. I would love that. And how do we go about building a summer of yes for us that reflects your energy, your intentions? right? That's what we're talking about today. We getting into the good of how do you really authentically, truly, and unapologetically choose you. Okay, I thought that was you. Hey, boo, hey.
Wow.
I know.
Reunited and it feels so good.
Mm,
Welcome, Miss Melody.
where's my fan? Like, I'm tripping. My fan is all the way in my room. Maybe we'll actually get a break today, and I'll go and get it because there's gonna be a fan clap moment necessary today. So how was your week,
Absolutely.
Sharonda?
Say again.
How was your weekend?
A little rocky. My husband had a little bit of food poisoning, so we had to take care of that.
All
But
right.
we got to hang out with friends and uh, just off to the next adventure and stuff today.
Well, hopefully, husband is doing better.
Oh
Food
yeah,
poisoning, that's
definitely.
something. No joke, baby. That
That
food poisoning ain't no
that
joke.
is. I don't wish that on nobody, not even a caregiver, because you go through them and you're seeing to them, and it was a hard 2 days, but he is definitely on the other side of that thing.
Yeah, yeah. I had I don't know. Like I said, I was telling Paulette earlier. Um, like I think stress is really getting the best of me, and I've got to make some very major shifts in my life
Yes,
very
ma'am.
soon because I'm starting to my anxiety and my stress is starting to manifest as stomach problems,
Ma'am, I
as
got one question for
you
you.
know what I mean.
Have you started that HRT yet? Because if you haven't, you working against yourself, ma'am.
No, today is gonna be the day because I was like, I can't. I need to get back to myself, and I need to make some shifts in a lot of the things that's going on in my life. So that's where I'm at in this place because I don't just talk about this to y'all. I live this. I live this. So I don't just give y'all tips that I'm reading about. A lot of times, Sharonda and I talk about everything from our perspective, from our real life. We give you real raw and honesty here, right? Whether you like it or not, that's what you're gonna get from us at all times.
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
and this summer, what I want for all of us is I want a different type of glow up. You know what I mean? I want us to feel empowered to choose us, right? Because this is not like um, that glow up that just lives online, because on social media, everybody's happy, everybody's doing great, life is great, grand, and wonderful, right? But I'm talking about that glow up that resides within your nervous system,
Hmm.
the one that comes from peace, the
See,
one that,
I have a take on that. I don't. I'm not that one that will post just the good stuff. If I feel if there's an inkling that of not being myself, then I'm not posting period and stuff because
yeah,
my energy is not right, and I don't want to portray that or I just can't. If
well, I mean,
I'm on, I've been off since before January 20th, so and I just been detoxing, girl.
yeah,
You ain't
I
seen me
mean,
post
I
too
get
much of
it,
nothing.
but there are a lot of people who actually their persona, their online persona. What they see is, oh, I'm making all this money, everything is grand, everything's great. And secretly, sometimes their world is falling apart and they don't know how to present anything other than that. It may not necessarily be them
Girl,
being fake, it's just they're used to wearing that mask of everything
that's
is
too much
okay.
work, child.
It is,
When
it
we
is.
up at our
But
ages, we
well,
don't.
because they may not have peace, they may not have clarity, right? Um, I want us to be able to take a breath. If you don't hush up and not feeling like I've always got that checklist of that's all the things I'm supposed to be doing. Where's your sir? Get away from me and go on somewhere with that damn water bottle. So I want us to not live in our heads so much.
Right.
Having that checklist of 50 million things that you just got to get done. And I've got to pour into everybody else. I've got to help this person, that person, the other person, the next person. And you just keep falling farther and farther down your list, right? The world really has kind of made us feel like rest and ease and softness are luxuries that we do, especially as Black women. We don't get that.
Yeah, I took it. The
We
fuck.
don't get that as it's a luxury, but we don't get it as a default. Most of us,
I
you
took
know,
mine.
I mean, the older we get, I think we realize we have to take it, but there's still a lot of people who don't and won't because they don't feel comfortable taking it, right?
That's something they need to work
Softness,
out in their
yeah,
mind.
softness is not a weakness. Softness to me is our divine reset. It is us
Mm-hmm.
pushing that button that says, you know what? I'm recalibrating. I'm recalibrating what joy looks like for me, what success looks like for me, what happiness, what fulfillment looks like for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. Hush up. It's okay for it to be on my terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know, Eileen, he better get his life because I'm about to tell Sharon to take over for 2 seconds while he go outside because we just came from outside. But he's still young and he wants to play all the time. I'm trying to be so nice and calm. You see me. Okay.
He said I'm the third co-host.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I really sincerely feel
Sit here.
like hello puppy.
This is Reese,
Hello puppy.
everybody. He just wanted to be seen. He needs a little haircut, so don't judge him. But he just wanted to come in and say hello today. Normally, he is not allowed to be in the room while I'm doing the show because for this reason, you guys have seen exactly when he's not getting the attention he feels he deserves. He has to call me and talk to me. So that's it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But if this is your show, and you feel like, oh my God, I live in grind mode all the time. Why? What is it really pushing
Mm-hmm.
forward in your life? And I'm not saying there isn't a time when you need to grind and you need to hustle and you need to be about your business. You will never hear me say that. I'm saying that there has to be harmony.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot work yourself to death because
Right.
literally sometimes that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
When your body
Getting
gives
into
out
the
on you,
danger zone.
yeah, when your body gives out on you, because baby, that body will
Oh.
100% tell you when
Oh.
you're doing wrong. Hey, Lottie, that's my cousin over there on TikTok. Mwah. Hey, honey boo, my cousin cuz. Um, your body will tell on you. Your body will give out
Mm-hmm.
on you. Your body will
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you listen to it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to go on a date this weekend. And I sat down. It was what, Thursday night. I sat down on the bed and I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I had not been sleeping. I had not been sleeping.
You can make all the plans you want, but your body got
Your body is
other
going to
things to
tell you
take care
because
of.
I have not been choosing me. I have not been choosing my
Mm-hmm.
health and my happiness above all else. And sometimes that's what we
Mm-hmm.
have to do. It's time for us to start receiving because you're showing up, you're performing, you're producing for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And when you looking around for your support, where is it coming from? A lot of times we're not getting that support back that we give out, right? But now it's time for you to
Mm-hmm.
receive from yourself, right?
Yep.
So, what would this season look like to you? I want y'all to think about this, right? What would this season of your life look like if you weren't just preparing for joy, but you were actually living in it? What would that look like for you, right? How would your life be different? Because joy is there. It's waiting for us to just reach out and grab it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're always so used to putting everybody first.
Hmm.
Everybody is our priority but us. But what if you made peace your priority this month?
Yes.
What if you made
But in
clarity
order for you to have
your
peace,
priority?
you got to have some boundaries.
You have to have boundaries and you have to have clarity. You have to have clarity in what you want. You have to have intentionality of where you want to be in life. And you have to have boundaries that are going to help you figure out how to get there. Right? Oh,
Hmm.
I love you too. Thank you so much, cuz I love you too. So, how are we going to get there? First, you got to ask yourself a few questions. What actually brings me joy? This sometimes is a hard one for people because, especially if you're used to having kids in your house,
Hmm.
most of that revolved about your kids, your husband, things external to you. Well, the kids are now grown
Hmm.
or they're in college off doing their thing, right?
Yeah.
Now you're sat back like, well, now who am I now? Because now you have to recalibrate and figure out what makes you happy now, right?
So
What brings
in
you.
that same vein, it so for me, it was so Max left home at 18. And then I think that was 2020. And then there was going to be 2 more years before my retirement. So knowing, no, actually I didn't know that retirement was coming because at that point I was 48 years old. And so I'm a crafter. I'm a virtuous woman. So in
Mhm.
Proverbs or Psalms 31, it's the hands of a virtuous woman. I have to keep my hands busy and stuff. So being a crafter, I'm knitting, crocheting, I'm doing something intricate like you ever heard of diamond dots?
Yeah, I've got a couple of those. I haven't started them yet, but I've bought some.
Yeah.
I want to try
So
them out.
girl, that thing right there, the first one I ever got, I sat down for 12 hours. Yes, I did get up to use the
Yeah.
bathroom and eat, but that thing, it was like Calgon for me. And 12 hours flew by and stuff. And I got so much fulfillment and joy and concentration. And I didn't allow, when you're concentrating on something, your brain is not doing, the most with anxiety and stuff. It's actually focused on the task in front of you and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's rewiring your brain away from the stress, away from those headaches, and
Yeah.
allowing you to finally be like, okay. So Eileen said what it would look like for her is no stress headaches, no exhaustion
Right.
naps, or pulling herself
Right.
every which way and calling it multitasking. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely, Eileen.
And now we have to look at how do we go from that to where we want to be, from those being your realities to
Hmm.
those being just faint, distant reminders of how
Absolutely.
far you've come,
Yeah.
right? Because
Absolutely.
because when you choose softness, you're gonna stop saying yes out of obligation, and you'll only
Hmm.
say yes out of things that are aligned with you.
Hmm.
You'll know what's
So,
draining you, and you're gonna start limiting your interactions with people, places, and things that are draining you and not filling you back up.
right. So often on our show we talk about the filling of the cup, and so the person that you were talking about earlier in the show, they remember how we say you give everybody else was in and dripping off of the saucer. That person's cup was empty along with the saucer, and there was no doggone overflow, so they were totally depleted. Can't hear.
Keep talking. I was talking to the
Oh,
people on.
okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, so that person that you were talking about, they couldn't give from any damn where, but they still found it to give, and they further depleted themselves.
Yes, that's what happens. That's what happens. You get so used to giving, giving, giving that you're giving out of your own personal energy storage when,
Which is
like
wrong.
Sharon is saying, you're only supposed to give out of your abundance, out of your overflow. That's what's for everybody else. Your
Mm-hmm.
internal energy store or what's in the cup is always for you. Now, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to get used up, but Why are you constantly using and giving your energy to everyone else and not doing things that are replenishing your personal energy store? You running on,
Because they haven't learned how to say no.
yeah. And when you choose softness, you're also letting go of that pressure where that's telling us that rest has to be earned. Huh?
Mm.
Rest is a requirement for our health.
Girl,
Rest
that
is something
doggone
that
book.
we all get. You ain't got to earn it. This ain't no
Right.
slave thing around here where they tell you when to wake up, when to go to sleep, blah, blah, blah. You have a right to rest just because you are here. You don't have to
Girl,
prove that you're worthy of peace.
all of that. Come on.
You
Come
already
on,
are
man.
worthy of all of it. So you have to know that in your spirit inherently. You have to be the one telling yourself and giving yourself permission, I guess, to let go
Yes,
of that way of thinking that's got you stuck.
yes. Unlearn that. That's a great point about the book I shared with you called Rest Resistant. Rest is Resistance by
Yeah,
Trisha Hershey. Girl, all of that part. You don't have to earn rest. It's yours by virtue of who you are and whose you are.
that's right. And you bet you have to know that. And if you don't know it, you know, you've got to figure out, how do I get to know it? How do I get to believe it?
Mhm.
Right? This isn't a fake it till you make it. This is a, how do I honestly move from being in survival mode? Most of us don't even realize that we've been living our lives in survival mode. That's
Hmm.
where we live. That's where um, we are comfortable because we've always lived there.
Hmm.
You probably, when you make that transition and things start to change and they start to shift because you're moving to um, thrival. Yes, I said thrival. We've already established that's a word.
Thrival. Oh, I like that word.
Thank you. From survival to thrival, right? From surviving to thriving.
Oh.
But
Hmm.
when you start to make that move, things are going to feel weird because it's going to get harder before it gets easier. And it's going to feel weird. Like, this might, this is kind of feeling too good to be true. And you're going to be waiting for the other shoe to drop. What if there is no other shoe to drop?
Hmm.
What if it is truly your time to live in a state of peace, of harmony, right? To finally let go of a lot of the toxicity that you grew up with, that is
Hmm.
now you feel is like a part of your life. It ain't. It's not. It doesn't have to be. Because we can be soft. We don't have to be that hard exterior that we've learned, that mask we've learned to put on. We don't have to be that, because softness does not mean weakness. It's just resilience in
Right.
another form.
Mm.
You know, I don't.
Yeah.
It's telling yourself, I am no longer going to perform at struggling in order for me to be seen as strong.
Hmm.
It's called emotional freedom. It's when you have the courage to not respond right away to that text,
Absolutely.
that email,
Yeah.
to not be the first one fixing things, to let
Girl, that part.
silences be awkward sometimes because the other person don't want to speak first and they're waiting for you to quote unquote give in,
Hmm.
right? It's okay to choose you,
Yeah. All
because
day, every day.
when we start stepping into our softness, that's when we're really going to stop surviving and really start embodying thriving as our new reality. And it's not a selfish shift, because people always think, oh, when I am putting myself first, that's that the first thing they say is, I feel guilty for taking time to myself. How crazy does that sound?
Hmm.
You give everybody else 16 hours of your day. I'm assuming you
My
have eight
God.
hours for sleep. You can't, you're telling me you can't find 1 hour of that time to give to yourself, right? You can't find 1 hour of that of out of the 16 hours that you are awake, and sometimes more for people who are only sleeping 4 to 6 hours a day.
Hmm.
But those 16 hours, you can't find 1 hour for you, not one. Kind of sounds crazy when
See,
you look at it like that, right?
well, I would like to petition you to think about it as in tithes. You give 10% to God. You
Hmm.
mean to tell me you don't have 10% of your day to give to yourself?
To
Think
yourself.
about it. Think about it.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is because too many of us are still wearing that superwoman cape while we're bleeding underneath it.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? We're so used
Hmm.
to running on empty that fullness feels unfamiliar to us. Being fulfilled, being happy just feels, like I said, too good to be true. We're like, what is this feeling? You know? And I want us to take this season, this summer season, to relearn what wholeness means for us,
Hmm.
right? We're and being soft doesn't mean you slipping, you getting caught out there. No, it means you're surrendering to the life that your soul has been praying for.
Hmm.
We all want that soft life. We don't want to struggle. We don't want to be stressed out to the point where our hair is falling out, our skin is splotchy and and bad, our
But
stomachs are messed up. That's not the life we want. So
but
how
it requires you to change your mindset. That's free. You don't have to wait on anybody for that. You
right?
can change your mind. And that if that means that you're gonna have to forego, you know, going out or doing whatever with everybody else, you can say no and go to every other one or something like that. But when
That's right.
you change, everything and everything around you will also follow suit.
Yeah.
But they don't have to if you won't change.
No, because you have to be the leader in that. The only person that can change your life is you. You can't keep waiting for somebody else to come and save you. There is no one else who's coming to save us in this season.
Put
It's
your
about
mask on
saving
first,
yourself.
just like on a
Yeah.
plane.
We can do less and feel more and feel good about it. Have less
Absolutely.
obligations, have less time proving ourselves, and be more present in our own lives like we're present in everybody else's life, right? Just
Yep.
imagine what it would look like if you stop trying to get somewhere and finally just let yourself arrive in your own life.
How about that? Show up for yourself.
Show up for yourself, be present in your life. Arrive in your own life as a position of power, as a position of, of mindfulness, presence, intentionality. Be your own damn peace. Stop trying to look for somebody else to be your peace,
That part.
right? Like, it makes me think there's so on TikTok, there's this big controversy going around right now about B. Simone and her best friend. And the fact
Hmm.
that B. Simone is rich and her best friend is not. And her best friend was talking about, you know, um, she was slick throwing, I won't say shade, but telling her in telling her truth. There was slick a little bit of shade in how she was saying it. But essentially what she was saying is everybody thinks when your best friend is rich that you got it like that too. That because they're rich, you're rich, right? And she was like, there, and she talked about there was a time in the last year and a half, whatever, where she lost her job, was living with her mama. She, had all these things happen to her. And she said it was, looking towards B. Simone. And B. Simone, she said, I've seen you. cut checks to people to help them out when they needed it, but you weren't there in my space. Not like she was blaming her. And she said, and I get it. She said, because I had to go through those challenges for myself to hit those, to be on food stamps, to be on Medicaid. Um, like to me, there were digs. Like I've seen you do all this for others, but her saying it wasn't for you to take care of me because it wasn't. Now, if I'm rich and I see my friend going through like that, I'm going to help my friend because that's my friend. And I see that. But I also see it from B. Simone's side where she was in a spirit of helping everybody else. Bless you.
Oh,
You okay?
bless the baby.
Bless you. But B. Simone being in a space of everybody wanting something from her, everybody looking at her as, hey, help me, help me, help me, and realizing that you have been pouring into people who really weren't for you. They were just about what you could do for them, to the point that now you're looking at even those people who are solid in your life as, damn, another person needs something, another person wants something. And not being able to be there for them because you're stressed about your own situation. Come here. Are you, come here. Right? You're so stressed about your situation that you can't help anybody else because now you're looking at everybody else as they just want something from me because that's what you got used to. That's your trauma now. Right? And
Right.
what the sister said that I really appreciated is and B. Simone said as well was that this was my season to go through this to make sure I could live. Um, I can live the life I want to live, but I may have to go through some challenges before I get there. It may not be easy, but this was a lesson that I had to learn. I had to learn how to pull myself up by my own bootstraps, pull my big girl panties up and get myself out of this situation because nobody was coming to save her. Now, what was interesting in that conversation was that B. Simone said her friend had told her about an opportunity she had recently, and B. Simone messaged her after they had talked about it, and she said, I felt some kind of way about that, and I don't like how I'm feeling right now about this, and I don't know why. That takes a lot of honesty for somebody to say, I might be a little jealous that you are coming up some. And so a lot of people are saying, oh, B. Simone is not her friend because she didn't help her, blah, blah, blah. I've got friends that have way more money than me. I never have an expectation that they support me, give me money or anything because I'm an adult and I take care of myself. Right? But because this is my life, I'm in charge of it. I can save myself. I can go grind, hustle, and go work and make what I need to make happen in my life. And I do. But we have to know that it is there for each of us to do that. Right? Now, I want to ask a question. Why do we fear choosing ease and choosing softness? Right? Because if it's as simple as choosing, why don't more of us choose it? Why is it hard for us to choose ease, to choose ourselves, to choose softness? Why?
I, I just got. I just feel some. I feel some kind of way about. Okay, so I don't. I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, where the B Simone and her friend is coming from, and was the friend being presumptuous?
No, the
That
friend, the friend was so B. Simone started by talking about, and I haven't listened to the whole thing. I just listened to this one segment of it. But B.
mhm,
Simone was talking about
excuse me.
her experience in her reality and her experience of people moving in and out of her life, and um, being there and being a giver and helping people. But those people ended up maybe being potential snakes in her life and realizing that they're not the right people. But when you do find those right people, now your guards are so up because you've been taken advantage of so many times. And her
Mm-hmm.
friend was just talking about from her experience of, um, she was like, because, there were times when I was living with my mom when I was homeless. She was talking about people being presumptuous of her stature because B. Simone is her best friend. And because B. Simone's rich, that must mean you got it and you pop into and you're rich. Like or your friends taking care of you or whatever. And she was like, no. There I was living with my mom. She said I had lost my job. I think she said she had lost her car being repoed. She was on food stamps. She was on Medicaid, right? She wasn't being presumptuous. She was just sharing her story. And she said, and I saw you helping other people. And I didn't get mad because you didn't help me in this season. She said,
Uh,
because I realized I had to help myself, that I had to go on this journey so that I could know that I could pick myself up and do this. But
uh,
in the midst of it, you still feel the shade that there always would be something. If you know I'm going through this and you're my best friend and you have the ability to help me, I'm not saying take care of me, that you didn't. She never said it, but in the comments, in everybody's comments, that's what they were talking about. If you start barking again, you got to get out. Trying to take over for 1 second. Let me go put him outside. Take over.
okay,
Yeah, you and Paulette talk for a second.
okay. Hey there. The good doctor is in, you guys.
What's going on, y'all? What is up? Good morning.
Hey,
I'm so
nothing.
sorry. I
How
apologize. I
are
was
you?
working on stuff. So Q got started, huh?
Huh? You got, oh,
Q
that's
got
the girl's friend? Because I only saw one clip just yesterday, and I don't follow B Simone, so I was kind of lost, but
Wait a minute. So
Leanne
what
was trying to
happened?
explain it to me.
Right. So yeah, so we were talking about B Simone, and so B Simone's rich. Her best friend's not rich. They were on a podcast, um, maybe B Simone's podcast,
Hmm.
and B Simone was kind of just talking about her experience, right? Of people wanting stuff from her, blah blah blah, and not knowing the snakes in the garden until it's too late. To where now, when you get those people who are your real ride or dies, you
Mm-hmm.
feel some way towards them. You're kind of putting that wall and that blocker up because now you've been taken advantage of so much that you don't know how to give authentically to these new people because you're like, I've given so much and I've got nothing in return. So now you stop giving. And her friend was talking about how she was living with her mama, had lost her job, was on welfare, had to be on welfare. She a single mother, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't blame B. Simone for not being there to help her. She was like, because it was important that I went through this in my season so I could show myself, I could pick myself back up. Now, that brought up a whole lot of things from people saying B. Simone ain't a real friend. If that was my friend, I would help. Nobody can say what they would do because they have not walked in anybody else's shoes. Now, me personally, I'm going to help my friend. If I know they're going through something and I can help, I'm going to help. That's just who I am. But
Right.
me being the person who's needed help, I don't look at my friends any differently if they don't,
Right.
because it's not their requirement. And that's what we're talking about. When you choose you, sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you have to say no, and people are not always going to be happy about it. But sometimes people have to go through their storm to get to the oasis that's on the other side. I've had people who felt that they were entitled to my time, my energy, and my money just because we were friends or we were family or whatever. No. But when I start choosing me, sometimes I do have to make those hard decisions and say no to people, right? Because we have to
Ooh, it's a lot I want to
feel like
say.
feel like we have to stop being praised for our pain.
Yeah. Ooh, let me I don't know how I feel about this one. Let me just tell you
It's
why.
it's a hard one. I had to sit with this last
Yeah,
night to see how I really felt about it too. Because at first I was like, well, I feel like if B Simone was a good friend, she would have helped her when she saw that. But one, we don't know if the friend reached out because the girl didn't say she reached out for help.
right.
She said,
Yep.
I saw you giving to other people when they were in need. She never said, I reached out and you told me no. So let's be
Okay.
clear on
So
that. I
right.
didn't hear
Okay.
that part
Yeah.
in there, right? But she went and she said, and now she's doing better. She's recently had a big opportunity that came to her, and B Simone messaged her and she said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not liking how I'm feeling about what you just told me.
I saw
And
that part.
and
And I was
that
like,
takes
what?
a lot for a person to tell you, to be like, I'm feeling some kind of way and I don't like how I'm feeling. I need to work on me. And if you've known B Simone's story, if you followed her in any way, you know she's got some, just because people are rich or have money, well off, does not mean they're happy. Does not
Right.
mean they're healed. Does not mean they're living in a place of joy, of harmony, and happiness.
Correct.
Let me be the first to say that. There have been plenty of millionaires who have killed themselves. Plenty of people who have money that should just be happy if that was the
Mm-hmm.
end all be all.
Yep. I agree.
But it's about choosing me. So sometimes my choosing me is not going to align with somebody else's version of what I'm supposed to do as your friend, as your mama, as your whoever.
So okay. So let me jump in here real quick because in my head I'm going, "Woo, child, I've been that friend that needed some help." But then I've also been on the other end as well. Now, let me just, from my perspective, I can
Mhm.
only talk about Mama's perspective,
That's
Paulette's
all.
perspective.
That's the only perspective you can talk about.
Because I have to say that, especially knowing that I'm on social media all day and people get in their feelings, honey, and get to talking crazy to you all in your inbox and stuff. So let me put that out there first. So no one owes anybody anything. I learned that the
Right.
hard way, right? Especially as a
100%.
young woman who was out there on her own. When I say I was young, I was 17. A lot of people can say, "Oh, I was." We ain't talking about you. We talking about me. Okay, let's be clear.
Exactly.
So I was 17. I was living on my own and so forth. And as I grew into adulthood and was doing things or whatever, I thought, because of how I was raised, that people genuinely were supposed to help you. Well, I learned real quick that everybody got an agenda. What's in it for me? How can I glean from you? And being a young woman, you know what that normally meant was this X, Y, Z. So I learned how to just kind of do things on my own or figure it out or do without, because number one, I never wanted to be the person that was in the room that everybody was talking about when you walked out. I never wanted, that's just a fact. I never wanted to be the person that was constantly like this with a hand
Yeah.
out. And you know what I mean? And so a lot of times I would just have to learn how to be resourceful on my own. Or when it came to myself and my children, we just went without. We just literally went without, or I learned how to lean heavily on, things that were available in the community where I was currently living. Everything and everybody's situation, I think, is different. Now, when you're talking about um, people that you might laugh and talk and kiki and hang with or whatever, who may have the resources that you actually need and they know about it, right? You all are having conversations about it, and we're sitting in on a couch and we're having heavy
Mhm.
conversation, and I'm struggling, and when I leave your house I'm going somewhere and I'm gonna lay down on the ground somewhere, then I have to question our friendship, right? I'm
Now,
not saying
in
you
that
owe
instance,
me
I'm not.
anything.
Now, I agree with that. I agree with that. I'm not
Okay.
going to, if I've got space and I have somebody who is going to be homeless, of course you can crash on my couch for a couple of days, a week, maybe even a month, right? But it's not going to be an
Right,
extended
right.
thing.
It's not gonna be enough.
I still think there have to be boundaries, right? And
Absolutely.
sometimes it might be that you need to learn that lesson because
You've done
you
been here before.
we've been here
Mm.
before. You have utilized resources. You never know people's situation or their dynamic. right? I think so. This to me isn't even really about B. Simone in as much as it's about boundaries,
Yeah.
as it's about respect of friendship, as it's about I can still take care of me and help you. Because
Right.
to me, self care is also social, it's also community based,
Right.
right? But if we're just talking about it and you've never asked for help, should I be presumptuous and then just give?
I don't
Because
think you should.
you've never asked, right? My thing is, if a person doesn't ask, that doesn't make me an asshole or not your friend if I'm not just offering,
Now I'm
right?
gonna also put
I
this
don't I
out.
don't think that makes you a bad person, but if
No.
you know that I am really, really out here and I need help and you have resources that could help me, I would likely be the one to offer. But until you know what other people's boundaries are and why they have set boundaries, we have to choose. And sometimes that choosing is meaning I'm going to have to choose me in the season where you might think I should choose you because you're my friend,
Hmm.
right? Sometimes we have to make a bold decision that says, I have to choose me to save me right now.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think yeah, I think we're kind of probably saying the same thing, but I
Yeah.
think also I'm going to keep it 100 because I have, and I'm again, let me just be clear. Maybe I'm being, I've just learned that if people, when people show you who they are on both sides, believe them and act accordingly. You feel me?
Come on,
This is
Dr. Paulette.
this is
Come on.
this is where because I'm like this. If you know I'm out here
Mhm.
bad,
Oh, yeah.
if you know it. I'm sorry. Forgive me. You know I'm out here struggling. I don't even have a T to give you. I got a K,
No,
but I don't have
I agree.
because I ain't made it down that far. And you know, first of all,
I'm agreeing with
vibration, we can't be rocking on the same wavelength because it's almost as if you don't see that I'm having an issue, right? It's deeper than that though, I think. And that is where someone like myself, I have learned how to remove myself from situations when I was the person that was in need, because it was clear that not that our relationship was not serving me, but it wasn't. And I'm not saying it in a material sense. I needed somewhere to stay. I needed the money and XYZ. It was clear you had your own thing going on. And I would rather respect you in your decision on seeing that I'm having an issue, and I would just like to move on anyway,
I
so I
mean,
can focus on what I need to. Does that make
well,
sense?
it does make sense. And I'm not on either side in this. I'm just bringing about what
Okay.
I'm just bringing about conversation. I'm not on either
Right,
side, right?
right.
Because I don't know either of these women. I don't know, and I don't follow B. Simone that much. I just know she's had some issues and some things where she really had to move into a season of learning how to choose her because she was by default choosing everybody else,
Right. Makes
right?
sense.
And especially when you have money, people expect that you are supposed to use your money to help everybody else,
Now that I disagree with.
Me too.
right? But so I think so me just having this conversation is on both sides. One, we have to stop expecting other people to save us because nobody's coming to save us.
Come on now, you better say that.
And
Hmm.
sometimes we have to choose us even when it's hard,
Yep.
even
Hmm.
when that might be what breaks a friendship, right?
But
You have
Paulette,
to,
didn't you
and
say
I'm not saying that she was right or wrong. That's something that she's going to have to live with,
Mm-hmm.
that decision and knowing that she
Mm-hmm.
was or was not there when she knew a person who was really there for her needed help and she wasn't there. That's something she got to live with.
Right. Agreed. But what were you saying, Sharonda? I thought I heard you. I'm sorry.
did
I didn't mean to.
did did one of y'all say something about the friend had already been in that situation before?
No, 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 no. No, I didn't say that the friend had been in that situation. I said in instances where there are times when I would absolutely say no. When you've been in this situation constantly and I've given you resources and you have not
Ah,
utilized said resources, then I'm not going to keep doing that because now you have a sense of entitlement to what I've
yes.
worked hard
Okay.
to build.
Agreed.
Right.
I wasn't,
I
that's what I
Right.
said. It's not about
Okay.
Yeah,
Agreed.
Simone and her friend.
yeah.
It's bigger than that. It is
Mhm.
about the relationship that people have. And some people feel entitled to your time, to your energy, to your resources,
Mhm.
your money, to your everything.
Yep.
And especially when you have money,
Huh.
especially when you have money, people feel entitled to what you have and who you are. And just because you have money now, you're supposed to help everybody. Now you're supposed to do this. That's how MC Hammer what went broke the first time with
Hmm.
that entourage of 100 people that he was taking because he was trying to take the whole hood with him. You can't take everybody.
Well,
You can't. You can't. You
this
can't
is
do that.
true.
Yeah.
I read in my Bible today that we are created to depend on God. And
Mhm.
he man, this is a happy accident and stuff because I just based off of what I just read about we are the he provides all. And Leanne, you just got done saying, having a friend that's been in a down on their luck type of a situation before, and you giving resources before, and see, it's the presumptuousness for me. I think I just made a word up, but anyway, it's the presumptuousness that you were in this position before, and you are in this position again because you didn't learn your lesson the first time and stuff. So
Mm.
now, how as you, Leanne, the friend, supposed to keep coming to the rescue when that person does not realize they are their own cavalry? How? I'll wait for an answer because when do you get to take accountability for
Accountability,
what you're not doing for your own self, but you looking for everybody else to help you?
100%, right? Because we again, it comes with you choosing self. There has to be an awareness. There has to be an awareness. First of all, that's why the girl said she wasn't mad with B Simone. She said because it was never your responsibility to save me
Good stuff.
or to
And you
take
know
care of
what?
I like
me,
that.
And
And
I
I like.
think that reality is, but it
Yeah.
might, but you can't tell me that in the moment I see you, Sharonda, or I see you, Paulette, helping everybody else out, and I'm your ride or ride. I'm supposed to be your best friend, and you're not there to help me when I need it. There's an internal struggle that's going to happen and an internal conversation because you're going to be hurt. There's no way that you can't be hurt. Like, you know what I mean? When you see that happening. But growth and healing is what you have to have, right?
Right. I
Because
get. I get it.
that
I get it.
that healing requires a shift and it's a pace shift, right? Where you're going to go to the word and realize you've got everything that you need. You just need to
Absolutely
make
do.
some changes and
Mhm.
stop. Who was it? I was watching an interview with Leslie, um, the comedian Leslie, and she was talking about, was it Cat Williams? Yeah, she was talking to
Yep.
Cat
You're
Williams
already rich. Are you
and him
talking about
telling
that
her,
one?
yeah, where she was talking about, I am broke, I am poor. He said, no, what you are is talented. He was like, what you are is
Hmm.
talented. He said, you're speaking from that desperation,
Yep.
right? Yes, Leslie Jones. Thank you, Eileen. Eileen got my baby,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You're speaking from desperation, but you're talented. So you have what you need. To your point, Sharonda, you have what you need. He's given you everything, and he being God, whoever God you believe in, has given you everything that you need. So
Hmm.
if we
Hmm.
stop being living in a constant state of urgency, in
Right.
a constant state of desperation,
Yeah.
because I got this bill that got to get paid and I got this. So you can't think and process clearly. You don't have
Exactly.
clarity. That
And
shift,
you're hairy because you're
yes,
not resting. Remember, I just told you, rest is resistance. Pick that book up. You will not be sorry you did. I promise you. It will shift your thinking and have you take seize your own destiny and stuff. Quit waiting for the Calvary. It's already there in you. You have
Yes,
everything you need to be successful.
So I'm
everything in
curious. Let me
you.
ask this question then. So
And what
I
about
hear
you?
what everybody is saying. I'm curious. I got questions. I got
Mhm.
questions and questions need answers.
Okay.
You are right. I've said it often whenever I go live. I say this often to myself, and I've learned this, like I said, like we all have. Ain't nobody coming to save you. There is nobody.
They
You
already
are
here.
covered. They're already here. So how do we,
Right.
in this situation, when we have friends like B Simone's friend clearly had the wisdom to know I'm not getting ready to lean on my friend like that. I got to figure this out. How do we tell people you your own Calvary? That like, and then they sit there and they be mad at you. You know what I mean? Like indignant. Like, how dare you say that I need to? You know what I'm saying?
That
Because they're
has
not
more to do with them than
Got nothing
us.
to do with you, right? Yeah,
okay.
right. I mean, I think we just have to be honest. You have to be honest with people and come from a place of love and
Hmm.
not a place of anger, not a place of judgment.
Okay.
But let them know, look, friend, I've got a lot of my own things that I have to focus on that I am
Right.
still trying to figure out. You have everything that you need. Now we can sit here and if you would like, let's strategize on some things that you can do now to help turn your situation around.
I can help you with that.
Hmm.
Right? Because
All
resources
day.
aren't always financial. Let's
That's
let's
right.
let's think through, right? The resource I'm giving you isn't my money. I'm giving you my time, which is even more important than my money. So
Hmm.
let's get your mind thinking about how to save yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we don't go through the mud sometimes.
Correct. I
We're
agree.
going to go through the storm, but when we head into the storm, because that's what we always talk about, heading into the storm, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to get through it much faster.
Mm.
And what's going to happen in the meantime is you're going to start showing up for your damn self, and you're
How
going to
about it?
start proving to yourself that, damn, I can do this.
Yeah.
I can save
Hmm.
myself. And imagine how you're going to feel that first time you make a sale, that first time that you've made a move and you're starting to take these little steps to saving
Mm-hmm.
yourself, to getting out of that situation. And opportunities will come.
Right. They
But
will.
it
But
will,
you know, that's good stuff that you just brought there. And I can't agree with you more, but how
but
I
how?
think my question, I'm trying to form the words right. Hang on just a second, y'all. Forgive me. I apologize. Were
Just
we ever really friends?
yes.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like you got people that you hear later on say, well, she was never my friend. No way. Here she is. She making all of this money and so forth and so on. And she ain't do
That's
this and she
because
ain't do that.
no,
But
that's
again,
because
it has more to do with them and not you.
Yeah.
you
Okay.
coveting your
Okay.
friend's money. Why are you coveting someone else's success?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Ain't there something in the
That
Bible that
part.
says you're not supposed to be
You're
coveting
not supposed
others'
to covet other
success?
people's stuff. Right. I agree with
So
that.
you're
So
coveting somebody else. So maybe you weren't the best friend because you're now trying to covet their wealth and mad that they won't take care of you with what they've worked hard to get. You never saw Gail hating on Oprah.
ever.
Now Oprah did cut her off a smooth million, but told Gail, this is it. Don't ask for no more. I'm giving you this because I love you and I believe in you, what you're trying to do. Gail came
And
up
she
and
did
made her own,
wrong.
right?
Yes, she did.
She,
She did.
Stedman ain't never. Everybody always thought Stedman was just Oprah's love. Oprah has to be taking care of him. I met Stedman.
But
He spoke
Stedman
at a
had his own
conference.
money though, right?
Stedman always had his own money. He
Yeah,
never
yeah.
relied on Oprah, right?
Right,
So you
right.
can be around that person, and what you should be trying to do is glean from them some tools, some
Right.
lessons that can
Mm-hmm.
help you move forward in the path that you want to. If we spend more time
Yeah,
focusing on that route instead of why didn't Sharonda help me because she's got all this money and she's got all of this. Why didn't Sharonda just give to me? Because then you would never learn your lesson and you're going to continue to keep coming
that
over
part.
versus knowing that you have everything that you need. The best thing
Mm.
you can get from somebody ain't their money, it's their knowledge.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
their knowledge.
You don't
Come
have
Because
enough
on.
money
money.
isn't even,
You
money
people
ain't in the
on the
top
table.
five.
Yeah.
Think about it. Money ain't in the top five of people's importance. Because if I gave you $1 billion, but you was gonna die in the next 30 minutes, you ain't gonna take it. Unless, of course, you're just ready to
Mm.
go and you want to set your family up or something, then you ready to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was an
Agreed.
attorney before. He was an accomplished businessman before he met Oprah.
Yeah.
He had his own stuff and got his
True
own
that.
and got more stuff after, when they during their time and all that. I think
But now,
they might still be together.
but now I will say this. Let's keep it 100 though, because um we have these relationships with different people. My mother used to always say this: birds of a feather flock together. So when you are in the vicinity of these folks that are doing specific things, your relationships with those people absolutely does a couple of things. And I go back to being vibrationally aligned, right? I don't think it has anything to do with you always hear it's not what you know, is who you know. I think that has something to do with it, but it's even bigger than that, because even when it's not what you know, it's who you know. You better be able to deliver on the people that they know,
Yes.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. But my thing is if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
You're in the
thanks.
wrong room.
Correct. Yep.
You
I agree
need
with
to
that.
now shift. Now, it doesn't mean you leave that room. You might be in that. I won't say you're in the wrong room, but you're not in the right room. Let me position it that way. You might be in the right room so that you can share what you have to somebody else that needs
Yeah.
it. But there should be another room that you're in that you are not the smartest one,
Yeah.
because that's where you're going to learn how to move to your next level. But you might be somebody's help to move to their next level,
Mm-hmm.
because what you know and who you know is more important than the money that you have. And if I know all this and I'm sharing with people, not all my magic, because you ain't getting all my magic for free, but
Mm.
I will sit, I will talk to you, I will help you to a certain extent. But you have
Yeah.
to be there and willing to help yourself.
Yeah. You just can't
Because
That
have your
if
part.
hand.
you're not
I agree
willing
with
to,
that.
yeah. And so as we close out, because it is
That
now 11:02, as we close out, I want you guys to focus on creating your yes list. Your summer yes list. This is our summer of yes. What are the things that you are intentionally going to say yes to this summer? It's not about just cramming your summer full of stuff and piling a list on.
Okay.
It's about really being intentional about building um, a list of yes that are yes to more self, a commitment to prioritizing what feels good, what makes you happy, what makes you feel whole, grounded, and aligned,
Okay.
right? So if there are things that are out of alignment,
Mm-hmm.
what are your yeses? Is it rest? Is it joy? Is it creativity? Is it better connections?
Okay.
And then that's what we're going to start aligning and building our life around, because that's intentionality, that's purpose, right? They might be activities, it might be people, it might be spaces, it might be different rituals that you want to implement in your life, right? And start putting these things in your calendar. Because for me, if it ain't in the calendar, it ain't happening. Put it
how
in the
about that?
calendar. Schedule happiness and joy and these things that fulfill you and lift you up and fill your cup back up.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that we don't have to still do the hard things. We
Right.
100% have to do the hard things. But what it means is that we're not just depleting our energy, we are also restoring and refilling ourselves. We're setting radical boundaries, because your yes might be a no to somebody else. That might be your yes. Yes,
Good stuff.
Eileen. Definitely, Eileen said definitely more time to be creative and touch grass in different locations. So Miss Tree Time to you over here on TikTok. Hopefully, you are building your yes list of the things that you are intentionally going to add and say yes into your life, right? If we plan everything else, why not plan these things into our lives as well? Plan our happiness and our joy and our fulfillment, plan our healing into our lives. Give your
Agreed.
pleasure the same priority that you give your productivity.
Absolutely.
So,
Amen. Amen.
so
And amen.
as we close out, do you guys have any last words for the people? Paulette, Dr. Clark. Um,
Um, I just really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. This was really good. Thank you so much. I wish I had been here a little bit earlier, but I got to do news and stuff. But
do the news.
this was so good. And I'll probably go on live a little bit later on my own platforms and kind of say, what is your yes?
Yes.
Can I'll share with you what my yes is.
Yes.
My yes for me is accepting the fact that I am officially an empty nester. I didn't say I liked
Woo,
it,
woo, woo.
but can y'all believe it? Like,
Yeah.
I have raised 4 children.
And they're all
You did that.
successfully out.
You did that.
I'm my damn self.
That's a beautiful thing. You
That's an
should be proud.
Damn
accomplishment, ma'am.
thing in my life.
You should
Just
be
by
proud of
myself.
yourself. So,
And then 2 of them graduated, and no, all of them did, but 2
all
of
of
them
them did.
recently graduated,
Yes.
right?
One from
All
high
Come
of them
school,
on.
one from college. That's a
and one
beautiful thing.
graduated from high
You
school,
do
one
that.
graduated from college, one she's a full-blown engineer at Dow, y'all. Like, it's mind-blowing. So I'm saying all of that to say this. It hurt my feelings that she had to leave. It hurt my feelings that my son is off to college next for cybersecurity. So I have him for a few more weeks and then he's gone. And so I am learning how to say yes to more travel for me. Because and I did something super crazy yesterday. I've been doing it for about a week, but then yesterday I did it again, and my son looked at me like I was crazy, and I only bought dinner for me. You got money, boo.
You
I
got
bought dinner. It's
Hmm.
like, Mother, what is that? I said, it's my dinner.
my own.
Because I ain't cooking no more. There's nobody to cook for anymore. There's nobody, and there's really not. Because like, everybody that's got kids, they cook for themselves or whatever. You married and you off doing your thing. Y'all at the beach all weekend long,
Yeah,
and
he'll
mom
be fine. He'll be fine.
watching the
He'll be
Golden
fine.
Girls. But more for me this summer of travel and me time and heading to a beautiful beach, maybe Galveston or something like that. Back and forth until my official not transition, but double locate to the
Yeah.
Houston area. So yeah, there you go.
All
That's
right.
what I'm having some fun.
All right. And what about you, Sharonda? What's your final word for the people?
The cavalry is already here.
Mm. Come on, somebody.
That's it.
Where my fan at?
That's it.
I know, right? Where the fans at? Come on. The cavalry is already
Okay.
here.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Don't worry about me. I got it. I got sound. We got sound effects. Okay. If we can't have our fans, we're gonna have a sound effect for our fans. Okay. So as we wrap up, look, I want you to remember that this is your season to stop watching joy happen for others and to start choosing it for yourself.
Okay.
You never needed permission to bloom, to blossom, to become. You don't need approval to be soft. You don't even need to finish healing before you say you deserve rest, ease, and happiness. You already are enough. You've been enough. You will be enough. You're already rising because you're taking these first steps forward. So this summer, we're not shrinking anymore. We're shining bright like the beautiful brown lights that we are. Okay. We're saying
Outside of the scale. Outside of the scale. The scale can
yes.
shrink.
We're saying yes to ourselves. We're choosing ourselves over and over and over again. And we're going to be unapologetic about it. So our affirmation, repeat after me. I choose joy.
I choose joy.
I choose joy.
I choose softness.
I choose
I
sound.
choose softness.
I choose peace.
I choose
That
peace.
I choose. I choose peace. Yes.
And this summer, I choose me.
I choose me.
I choose me.
Amen. Amen.
Yes. So
And
if
amen.
you want to know, I'm going to put this in the little chat so you can repeat this. If you're somebody who wants to write about it, our reflection prompt is, what part of you is begging to be prioritized? And how are you going to answer her this summer? Okay.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay.
So good.
That's our prompt. What part of you is begging to be prioritized? So, screenshot your summer of yes list and tag at Wake Up Happy Sis
Yeah.
and hashtag yes to me. Okay, I want you to declare your intentions out loud. Then share this episode with one of your good girlfriends who's been putting herself last so you can tell her, sis, it's her time to put herself first too. So, with that, I thank y'all for being here for season 12 is officially a wrap. And yeah, we'll be back in July. So, we'll see y'all.
Bye. See
Bye.
you.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Wake Up Happy Sis Show. Join us live every Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more joy, healing, and sisterhood. Until next time, keep thriving unapologetically, sis.